yet?
I've set up a warning signal. Now you're near enough that they can see the rover.
The base is in front of me.
Already? Yes, sir, I'm not kidding. If you don't stop, I'll do it for you.
Some object is flying over their base.
Can you tell me more?
It's 15, 20 meters high. It has an upright silhouette, and it looks like a balloon.
It could be a balloon.
And that doesn't surprise you?
Not everything that flies needs jet engines. What markings does it have?
It's a field base, multi-module, for about several dozen people. Rather well equipped. There's lots of transporters here.
I'm not surprised. Missions with a large crew, transport modules were an integral part of the field camp.
Remind me, how many crew members were they supposed to send on the Invincible?
Over 100.
Great. They have a second antimat. As if the first one wasn't enough.
Is it active?
Probably not, but Proton alone knows.
What about people? Can you see anyone?
Not yet. Maybe that... I see someone.
Just one?
For now, yes.
Is that all?
I think so.
And please keep going. You can assume that their equipment has already detected your presence. Or it will soon enough. There's no point in further postponing the inevitable.
Still, I'm glad that I stopped. I feel better knowing that there's no heavily armed military waiting for me there.
Me too, Doctor. Me too.
Too bad I don't have a white flag.
We'll most likely lose contact soon. So let me be clear. Won't be easy to gain their trust. Things can go wrong, even if you can prove that you came to them of your own free will. If there's an escalation, remember one thing. I'll do everything in my power to negotiate your safe return to the Commonwealth. Worst case scenario, we'll opt for a prisoner exchange. Until then, please cooperate with them. And during the interrogation, don't resist. Astrobiologists generally do not possess information that's sensitive to the Commonwealth. At worst, you'll give away the details of our last mission. Of course, it'd be better if that didn't happen. But I know their methods of interrogation, and in all fairness, they're very effective.
Hang on, sir. What exchange? I'm not a spy, I'm a scientist.
I'm afraid that doesn't change anything. You want information about Regis 3. For that reason alone, they might consider you a spy.
But what kind of spy exposes themselves to direct questions?
A desperate one, Doctor.
If that's all, sir, shouldn't we cut the line?
No. Better to continue our communication for as long as possible. Prove that you voluntarily surrendered yourself. Their jammers will interrupt us sooner or later anyway.
else traversing this planet. I'm becoming more and more convinced that what I know is not the same as what exists. What can exist.
I must admit it's an interesting thought, but quite disturbing.
How odd.
What?
There's no one here. Nobody.
Impossible. Even if there aren't many of them in the camp, someone would have noticed you.
I'm not blind, sir. There's really no... I'm going... What have I got to lose anyway?
Your life, Doctor.
I'm going in. Clear. For now. I can't hear anyone either. I'm at the central module. In the headquarters.
You walked in, just like that.
Yeah? The doors were open.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
I have a record of their mission. Each step, location, units, including dates.
I'm all ears.
Day 0, landing place. Their main ship's in sector AQ-28.
The Invincible? What? They didn't move it?
Seems so.
I'll try to track it down. Please tell me what else is in there.
Like us, they became interested in the ocean. They got there on the 7th day.
Quite late.
Guess they weren't in a hurry. Before setting up this base, they were stationed not far from here, but seemed very determined to reach this area. They dug a vast system of tunnels.
When did they finally get here?
On the 15th day of the mission. They conducted research and during excavations found, you won't guess, metal structures.
So we had no chance to outrun them.
Yeah. And they were already at an advanced stage of works when we were still in orbit. In the end, they sent a convoy to a neighboring sector.
So that was their last move?
Well, there's no information about their return. Maybe I'll find them there.
Highly probable. Do you know what the current day of their mission is?
They left on the 25th day. That's all I know. Well, I can't back out now. I have to follow them.
Well, it's your decision. Although I admit I'm also starting to wonder what you'll find.
People, Astrogator. They must be somewhere.
I'm sending a satellite. Soon I'll have an image of the area where the ship landed. We'll see if the Invincible's still there.
I'll continue to search their base. On the 24th day, they sent a convoy north to the sector. Oh, to the sector where I found Gorski.
You suspect they went after him, having detected his signal?
Oh, surely they could detect him. They could have detected all of us. But would they really do something about it?
Well, for some reason they left their base. I'm assuming that has something to do with it.
Astrogator, this doesn't make any sense. You can't just wrap up the whole operation. Anyway, the first thing they would take were vehicles and equipment. Only the people are missing here. I'm at the control station. Several units can be controlled from here. I wonder which... Oh, damn. One's unavailable.
Probably out of reach, or they took it.
I got the feed. But I can't get it to move. It's got a weak signal. Must be too far away. A view from above. It's a flying probe. I'm betting it's the one that detected my presence.
Can you extract data from it?
Sure. Never too much data. Especially in the current situation. I just need to find a place to land it. I landed the probe. Gonna check it in a spare moment. They've got a device for intercepting alarm signals. There isn't much of it. Single record. He's dead. Poor guy. Waited for over a day. Until his heart couldn't take it anymore. Interesting. Coordinates changed... upwards. 1, 8, 5, 6, 1...
7, 5, 4. Yeah, it's Gorski. I'm sorry.
How is it possible? You said... You lied to me.
Yes, I had to.
My oxygen bought him time, and for what? He only suffered longer. Why didn't you let me turn back for him?
Please understand that sometimes I have to make difficult calls. I'm not supposed to burden my subordinates with such decisions.
Fuck! You let him die!
My job as a commander was to weigh your odds against the risks. Gorski was already in a critical condition, and you'd have had to go back through the collapsed ruins.
So it's better to abandon him?
No, I planned to send the lander for him once you were back on Dragonfly.
If I had known, I would have told you to do it right away. Now you condemned us both.
No, Yasna, you still don't...
Oh, shut up, Novik! I'm entering the next module. I guess it's a biolab. The scientists excavated some animal remains and reconstructed their hypothetical appearance. I found similar remains underground, right after finding Gorski. I wasn't sure if it was my imagination or not. Now there's no doubt. So long, long ago, reptilian organisms roamed the surface of Regis 3. They had the opportunity to study organisms preserved in the ocean. They found the same species of fish.
Did they confirm the similarity to those on Earth?
Yes, lots of similarities. Apart from one. I've never seen anything like this. They discovered a new organ. Even managed to run some tests already. According to their conclusions,
Yes?
it detects electromagnetic waves. That's why those fish were swimming away from our probe.
In other words, they've come across probes or something similar before. Something that threatened them.
Could guess her. In order to develop such an organ, they must have had a strong external stimulus. They detect the waves to survive. It started rotting.
It?
The fish.
In a bacteria-free environment? How so?
All living organisms serve as breeding grounds for bacteria. And there were both fish and humans in here. No longer alive. I could spend all day here if I could.
I'm not surprised, Doctor.
First images from this area. If it's been flying long enough, it may store important information. It photographed the moment of my arrival. I'm on the slides.
We already know that. Is there something else?
No, the base is empty. The probe must have just started recording. Okay, finished. There wasn't much of it, really. The silhouette I saw.
Yes?
It's just a robot. Still, nothing. It looks like a geology lab. One of these diagrams shows a geological cross-section. As suspected, it's all metal below the surface, of relatively thin layers of rock. But compared to the rest of the continent, the deposits in this region are significantly younger. They conducted a soil survey 500 meters deep.
Oh, that's a big piece of history, so to speak. What did they find?
Millions of years ago, life was abundant on the planet.
That would match our assumptions.
Yeah. Subdelta 92 class planets have very favorable conditions for the development of a biosphere.
So what happened? Did they draw any conclusions?
According to them, the extinction of life was caused by a supernova explosion.
The ground activity does not indicate...
It happened long ago. Longer than we anticipated. They've dated this event to 10 million years ago.
Only this one? The supposed end of Lyran's civilization?
Well, that's never been proven. There was practically no trace of them.
All right. What happened after?
Life was slowly recovering, but never returned to the pre-supernova peak.
Not enough time?
No. At first, it developed quickly, but then slowed down and declined.
Because another disaster?
Astrogator, the change in the biosphere development curve coincides with the occurrence of ferruginous clays.
This whole metal contraption, do I understand correctly?
Yes. I don't know what that has to do with it, though. Metals are really not that dangerous. The radioactive deposits marked here are not a definitive obstacle for life either. The biosphere has the ability to perfectly adapt, develop defense mechanisms, and fight back effectively.
Well, unless the planet is hit by a supernova wave.
Yes. Such sudden events leave no time for adaptation. The range of their ground measurements covers a much wider area. To my eye, it seems they use advanced sonar. What they dug up here stretches for tens of kilometers.
What do you mean? What's in the ground, Doctor?
Metal deposits. Those structures. We still don't know where they came from. In such a peculiar form. Even if we assume that these metals were lethal to organic life, that extinction shouldn't last forever. And yet, life never again developed beyond the waters.
Does this mean another Dominator has appeared on the land? Or one that leaves no trace behind?
Therein lies the rub. The Alliance have conducted a great deal of research. That they haven't found a logical explanation for this phenomenon is, to put it mildly, disturbing. Clearly, we're dealing with something beyond our comprehension. And I mean human comprehension in general. Unbelievable. Not only do we know nothing about their origin, but the arrangement of these deposits is sort of puzzling. A ring system with a distinct center. This base stands on the outer ring. The center of it is in... under the city. Huh. The one I escaped from.
So their presence there had nothing to do with us?
Looks like it.
Did they determine the entity's function? Origin? Anything?
Well, it's hard to say. There's nothing here about it. I have a feeling we're in the dark. We have to find a way.
Agreed. You should move on.
That's not quite what I meant. But yeah, I probably should. When you admire a beautiful view, an hour seems like a minute. But a minute on a hot stove will seem longer than... One more thing. I realize we still need to work together. So, I'll submit my reports as usual. But that doesn't mean everything's fine.
Understood, Doctor. I appreciate your professionalism.
Force field's down. I opened the passage. We can follow the convoy route now.
When you're ready, Doctor. One more minute, and our satellite will be over their ship. Oh, we're lucky. Clouds are low. Unfortunately, their ship's not here. Neither there, or...
Are you still looking?
Mm-hmm. Not here either. Ah! Bingo!
Yes?
Found it. They're still on the planet. Didn't fly away.
Good to know. Thank you. Access to the base is protected by a force field.
If these are Dirac emitters, and I'm sure they are, nothing will get through. Is there an opening from the other side?
I'll see. I'm leaving the base. Going after the convoy. Down you go, oh bright sun. Time to let the night in. For my legs are heavy. The field is not inviting. Legs become too heavy. Hands become too weary. Down you go, oh bright sun. The night is not that scary. Hide behind the dark woods while we're running barefoot. Well, I've got to the place where they were digging. It's hard to miss. They set up a huge machine at the center. It must weigh thousands of tons. The ship that brought all of this must be...
Gigantic, yes. The Invincible surpasses any of our units, even the largest orbital stations. In my opinion, it's a bit excessive.
Isn't that jealousy speaking, sir?
Not at all. Good one.
There's also a couple of smaller cranes here. In comparison to the Colossus, they look like it's pups.
Yes, I got it. They have big machines. Bigger than ours.
Interesting. They found a sizable object deep underground. Stands out from the rest. It's not a part of the structures, but rather an independent, autonomous machine.
Also metal.
Yes.
So, a robot? Or something else that finally looks familiar?
Well, it looks a lot more like a robot than the other structures. The excavator has a massive work area. They had photos of the site in the database, taken before they started digging. It's unrecognizable. Inside, there's a structure. Yes, a metal one. Similar to the ones on the surface. But these are completely hidden underground. According to the schemes from the geological unit, metal can be found in every part of this area. I have a feeling we're in the dark. We have to find a way.
Agreed. You should move on.
That's not quite what I meant. But yeah, I probably should.
How far to that convoy?
Not far. Even if I make a few stops, it won't take long. Astrogator, I've already covered most of the convoy route. I'm entering a more enclosed area. A ravine, to be precise.
I see. Can I count on a tactical report?
Of course. A simple analysis of the situation won't hurt anyone.
That's for sure.
The road ahead leads straight to where the convoy was heading.
Well then, what are you waiting for? Any doubts?
No, I don't. I still think we have to go there. If they're not in the base, they must be somewhere, damn it.
So, what's on your mind?
I can just drive in there, straight to the convoy. Or try and take a side path to remain unnoticed until the very last moment.
Bold assumption. Could be an unnecessary detour. I leave that to your judgment, though. It's your call, Yasmin.
Actually, I don't think it will make much difference. I'm heading straight to the convoy. I'm nearing the destination. From now... The radiation level is rising rapidly.
Yes, now be careful. Of radiation. Of other people. Just watch yourself.
Seeing people who are alive and mentally sound is something I'm always counting on, Astrogator. One of their vehicles got stuck in the rubble.
Oh, so you've already reached the convoy?
It's only this vehicle so far. I'm looking for the rest. And there's another mobile antimatter cannon.
Another? How many of those did they... Is it active?
Dead, fortunately.
I admire your composure.
Well, I've had my fair share of anxiety lately. No wonder my brain's in defense mode now. Dissociation is something we all do. Hang on, someone's here. Oh no. Astrogator. They're dead.
So you found someone.
After seeing their base, I had a feeling it might end like this. Still, I wonder, what were they looking for? Was it that they killed them? Just what the hell? Oh, another hole. Great. I'm not sure if it's safe to go in there. Last time it's... Okay. I'm getting into the antimat's recorder. What do we have here? They were preparing for departure. The convoy's heading somewhere. They're getting close to where I am now. I was there! It's the location with the giant cranes. Right before they lifted that strange artifact above ground level. Sending a probe. It's hard for them to reach the site. That's why they're trying to get there from above. Oh, they're tunneling their way through with a beam of antimatter.
How subtle. Can you locate the breach?
Looking at it now, they've pierced a hole 7 meters in diameter, and it's hard to say how deep. I have a bad feeling about it. Looks like they found whatever they were looking for in that ominous tunnel. Of course.
Don't jump to conclusions, Doctor. Not before you finish. We need to know what to expect there first.
Those containers ended up in one of the transporters. I wonder if it's still nearby. Shame. The transport's leaving. Something's going on. One man Everyone's trying to draw the attention of the others to... I have no idea what's beyond the frame. The photo is such poor quality. You can clearly see the fear on his face. One of them is staring with concern at an instrument. Some sort of meter. Next slide. People rushing out of the tunnel, running from whatever's in there.
But are we still considering whether you should go inside? I admit it's all very intriguing, but also too risky. What I'm trying to say is, I fear for your safety, Yasna.
I'm grateful for that. The situation is far from safe, true, but I've got to do what I've got to do, whether I'm scared or not. One of the antimats has fired straight into the tunnel.
And? What happened next?
There's nothing else. Only... darkness.
Can't you see what it was aiming for?
The machine's objective has changed. There's a bunch of unidentified targets. It has trouble recognizing any of the 9,999 objects. The counter reached its limit, I guess.
Sounds like a major fault in the circuitry. Combine that with tremendous firepower and it means big trouble.
Total panic. Everyone's trying to escape. Astrogator. The Antimat's new objective is to eliminate, instead of protecting.
What happens next?
There's also a second Antimat. It's shooting into the air.
Unbelievable. Both were faulty.
The second Antimat. That's what destroyed it. People are frozen with fear. They don't know what to do. It's firing directly at the crew. Shooting them. One by one. It's horrifying what an antimatter beam does to the human body.
I'm sorry you have to see this, Yasna. Regis 3 doesn't spare you.
Damn this mission. I curse whoever sent us here to play some half-assed spy game. Someone hid behind a rock.
How do you know?
This antimat has thermal imagery. Hiding from it made no difference. One man has raised his hands in surrender. If only a machine could take pity on him.
With a proper programming, it could recognize such gestures, but it could never feel compassion. No.
It killed him. The machine just killed him. Oh, fuck.
Yasna?
The last photo is from a few moments ago. I'm on it.
Bloody hell, so it's not dead after all. The machine that massacred the Alliance is still operational, and it could target you at any moment.
Let's hope not.
Perhaps it's best to hope. While moving away. If that's all...
What about that tunnel?
Right.
So? I'll go check it out.
I know you will, Yasna. Proceed.